Um, so I just wanted to let you know that we got an hour, and I know that a lot of you told me yesterday that you have a whole bunch of questions. So instead of me pontificating up here, you know, I'll just give you a story or whatever for 5-10 minutes at first, and then we'll open up for questions. We'll have a second mic over here, so we'll form a line or something like this. But I have to thank Paul Francis of Lucas Francis Studios for me to be here, because he is the one that out of nowhere submitted a model of a speeder, ancient gold flyer speeder, to the History Channel's Ancient Aliens. And he sent photos, and he also sent a 3D model of what he thought that the Palenque slab would look like in real life. And the moment we received those photos, we're like, man, this is some really, really cool stuff. And so that is how Paul ended up on season 4 of Ancient Aliens. And here I am at Wonderfest. And to me, it's so incredibly exciting to be here, because as a kid I remember, you know, building all those model kits, you know, of anything Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon, you know, the Slave One and the Star Destroyers and things like that. So it was all very exciting. But to me, as a kid, I remember I never had a problem putting together the kids or building them, but I never finished them with the paint jobs. So when my dad used to put up the models up on the ceiling of my room, you know, everything was covered in gray ships, you know, so nothing was painted. And so today, or actually yesterday, I would walk around the dealer room, or I would walk around, you know, all those different exhibits, and I would see all these magnificent models, and it would have like a price tag for, let's say, $75. And I'm like, you know, handing over a $100 bill, I'm like, I want this one. And then they would give me a box. I'm like, no, I want this one. And they're like, no, that's the finished version. You can only have the kit. I'm like, but I want that one. And they're like, oh, no, that's like $400. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me think about it. And, you know, I'm walking away with my tail between my legs. You know, and then some of my friends and I, Dave and Robert, we went downstairs last night to watch Iron Modelers, and we showed up a little bit, about 20 minutes or a half an hour in or something, and then we came back down towards the end. And I don't know if you guys have been there last night, but it was absolutely magnificent, because they got a de Havilland kit of a little plane like this, and a Jupiter 2 saucer kit. And they built some, and a whole bunch of Nurnies and Greeblies and things like that on a table in the corner. And it was, you know, absolutely spectacular what they came up with. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm really happy to be here, and this is like reliving. Oh, one more thing. And then I had a photo op with the 501st yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks. I mean, that to me, you know, I've always heard about the 501st. I've seen, you know, tons of pictures online and things like that, but I never thought that, you know, they would be here at Wonderfest. And so it's truly, it's like almost like a coming home. So I'm very happy to be here. But so whoever has questions, you know, you can ask me anything you want. So if you, I mean, Dave, can you just maybe hold or bring the mic to people, and we'll just, you know, hand it to whoever is here. So we've got this one working too. Yeah, perfect. So, who's first? Right over there. Okay. And as I destroy my phone and everything, that's okay. No, I didn't. It's fine. Right over there. There.
I know, like, what y'all's theories and whatnot on the show, but I want your true opinion on what you think the H blocks were actually for.
Okay. So in case somebody is not familiar what an H block is, there is this site in South America called Puma Punku. It's right next to an ancient archaeological site by the name of Tiwanaku. And it's one of the most famous sites in the world, you know, for tourists because they go there, you know, and photograph the Temple of the Moon and the Temple of the Sun, or the Gate of the Sun, actually. And it's truly magnificent. However, what nobody tells these visitors is that right next to Tiwanaku, there is another site called Puma Punku. It's only about 150, 200 yards away. And that site completely defies logic because at Tiwanaku, for example, you have so many blocks that have hieroglyphics on them. You have carvings of faces, of weird-looking creatures and things like that. However, at Puma Punku, it's 100% anonymous. Yet the stones and the stone blocks that have been used there are 20, 30, 50 times larger than anything that can be found at Puma Punku, and they're at Tiwanaku, and they're absolutely perfectly cut. And one thing that people don't realize is that they have been carved out of the igneous or the rocks that are available there, and those are nothing else but igneous rocks such as granite and diorite, andesite, so very, very hard rocks where on the most scale of density, the rocks that are harder than that is quartzite, and then we have diamond. So, which means from a logical perspective, because what archaeologists will tell you is that all of these, you can sit down now because give a big round of applause for Paul.
Yay!
Okay. I couldn't have done it without you. And so, you know, the blocks there, the archaeologists are telling us they have been carved with chicken bones. Now, this is a room here, I think, full of builders. And yes, if it's a model kit or not, but you still are into the whole science of things with science fiction and stuff like that. So you know inherently that you cannot cut granite with chicken bones, even though that is what we're being told. Or another explanation is, oh, it was done with copper tools. Now that all sounds great and interesting, but it is a leap of faith and it is a complete fallacy in logic, because what we have here is physics. You cannot cut granite with copper. You cannot cut granite with a chicken bone. Now, I am not saying that our ancestors did not know how to cut stone, because obviously they did. Because if you go to ancient, ancient monuments in Greece or in Italy or elsewhere around the world, you can find blocks that have been cut very easily because they're made of limestone or sandstone and things like that, or very porous or soft rock. And so, of course, our ancestors knew how to cut that stuff, but when it comes to granite and things like that, that is where it becomes a little bit more complicated, because we today not only would have great difficulty replicating it, but we would use heavy machinery. And so to suggest that our ancestors did this with chicken bones when we today would use heavy machinery, just because an archaeologist tells you something doesn't mean that you have to subscribe to it. So to return to the question regarding my theory of the H blocks, because on Ancient Aliens we proposed two new ideas. One idea was that the one that Christopher Dunn proposed, where he's a mechanical engineer, and he actually has gone to Puma Punku and measured these H blocks. By the way, the reason why they're called H blocks is because they look like an H. They're about this tall. 14 of them have been found. They're about 3 tons each. And if you would like to see a model of an H block, come to my table afterwards. I'm in the guest room over there. What is it? Not the dealer room, the other room. The room on the other side, B, thank you. And so we've got like little models that Paul Francis has created of the H block. So you'll know exactly, the intricacies of this block or these blocks. And